Johnston revealed to you that was surprising, that went into the book as well, that you said he was very upfront and very straightforward. Like, what was something that he spoke to you about that you were taken by and you didn't know before?
Yeah, I mean, I think really just his willingness to sort of be honest about the successes and failures of the process of he's very experienced, as you mentioned, the Rocketeer and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So it certainly wasn't his first film. He'd done Jumanji, of course, which was a big
Oh yes, he did Jumanji too. Yes,
visual effects or movie of its time. So he certainly wasn't inexperienced, but he was sort of honest about what it's like to be on set when it's slightly slipping out of your hands and you're chased, as I said earlier, you're chasing this sort of ending that isn't really working, and you imagine how stressful that must be.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, that was the kind of main stuff. I think we talked about the Spinosaurus. He talked about his relationship with Spielberg. Obviously, he'd gone to Spielberg and said, I think if you want to make, or if you don't want to make the sequel, i.e. The Lost World, I'd be up for it. And then, of course, Spielberg did make The Lost World, and Johnston kind of made his own Lost World with Jumanji in a strange way. And then, not quite, but you know what I mean. And then obviously Spielberg, couldn't think of any, he was the perfect choice for Jurassic Park 3. And they're very, very tight as filmmakers. Obviously,
Yes.
Johnston was working on right back to sort of Raise the Lost Ark, and they've got a long standing relationship.
You said, and we were talking about Jurassic Park 3 ending, and even though I am a huge Spielberg fan, even when it came out, I felt this way. I just felt the last act of The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, didn't excite me, because to me it kind of became like, and I'm not trying to say that's what the intention was, but personally for me it became like King Kong. You know how you bring King Kong from the island to the city, and even the way that ending happened, to me it didn't please personally. But was that something that were discussed between you and Spielberg? Like, did you have any reservations about the ending?
I actually didn't mind the ending. I quite like seeing the T-Rex just stomping through San Diego.
Right.
I mean, you've got the great moment with David Koepp, the screenwriter of Jurassic Park, running into it's the sort of bookstore, I think, and just being savaged by the creature.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strange. I can see why people don't like it, and of course, originally it didn't exist. There was,
that's right.
It was going to be a much longer sequence on the island. And then I think the way Spielberg explained it to me was, well, I sort of decided not to do Jurassic Park 3, but I really wanted to get, I wanted to sort of, ultimately what Colin has done in sort of Dominion and even Battle of Big Rock, the short that he did, where, and obviously the end of the second half of Fallen Kingdom, where, they're on the mainland. And Spielberg wanted a bit of that mainland fun. So he sort of concertinaed it into this last act. And it was, you can look at the merits and demerits of that, let's say. I kind of enjoyed watching it, the T-Rex stomping down Main Street, bending the traffic lights, stoplights, as you say in America. Drinking from the swimming pool, the dog. There's a lot. The bit with the boy in the house where the swimming pool is brilliant. Not all of that sequence works, I will confess. But I quite enjoy. It was, like you say, very King Kong, very Godzilla. Perhaps a bit too much, but I still enjoyed it because we'd been on the island for a film and 2/3 by that point. So I guess it was visually different, if nothing else.